Hi guys, I'm going to be talking to Nicky today. Let's see if this all does its thing. Just trying to tell everyone that I'm live. I'm going to be talking to Nicky all about her HA recovery journey, which I'm really excited to talk about. Can you request to join, Nicky? This technology confuses me. Ah, there you go. I think I've done it. Yay! Has it worked?
Yeah, I requested to jump in.
Yay! How are you?
I'm good. How are you going?
Yeah,
I just
I'm
want
good.
to
Yeah,
prop
I
you
can
up.
hear you.
Okay, good. Can you see my
Yeah,
top of my...
yeah, just about.
Oh, okay. That'll have to do. You're on a pile of books.
Oh, that's cool. You're like balancing on a window, it's fine. But yeah, like I've only just got up really, like reasonably, because it's eight
Yeah.
o'clock here. But you've had like your pretty much day. How's your day been?
Yeah, well, it's 5 o'clock here. This is the time where it
Yeah.
starts to go mental. So I've just ditched it with my actual partner. I'm like, take care of it.
Oh,
But yeah, now good. It's 5 o'clock. So we've done our Saturday. It's so weird.
yeah, it is, isn't it? And how has moving been? 'Cause you've moved recently, haven't you? And with a
Yeah.
baby.
Oh my gosh, we've moved and we were in transit for 4 weeks because of all the lockdown laws moving states here. So we've been in a quarantine and it's been hectic, but I honestly can't complain. Like everyone's like, oh my gosh, moving with a newborn. And yes, the drive sucks, but otherwise you don't do much with a newborn baby. You're at home anyway. So
Yeah,
just
true.
heck,
Eat, sleep, repeat, I guess.
literally.
Cool. Well, I wanted to grab you on here today to talk all about your journey. Like, I know we've spoke for like ages, we've never actually properly chatted, so it's really cool to do this.
I,
But I think it's nice to like get everyone's different parts of their journey because you can always resonate with different aspects. And then obviously yours ended in pregnancy, which is even more amazing as well. So yeah, do you want to like let us know how it all began? I suppose any kind of disordered eating habits and how did they come about, and then how did that merge to HA? Yeah, just let us all know.
yeah, okay. No, you're right. There's so many of us that have like the same journeys, but different in a way. So gosh, whenever I think about when it
Mm.
started way back. Like HA was just the wake up call, losing my period. My eating disorder started way back when I was 15 years old. When I was doing ballet, I had quite bad anorexia. I grew up in New Zealand, and my family took me over here to Australia actually to get help for it. So that was quite heavy when I was young. 14, 15
Mhm.
was when it was bad. And then I did get better, like weight restoration, and I was a normal teenager, that kind of thing. But I was always on some sort of diet or some sort of health kick or just the healthy friend or the fit friend. And whenever I sort of started to get really stressed or something happened in my life, I just ramped that up and it would just be like a crux for me. Like I would really start to that
Mechanism.
coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Eating and exercise was something that was all I knew how to do. So that's what I used to do and pretty much have always been like that my whole life. And I honestly didn't think of anything off it. I just thought I was healthy. I didn't like have any problems or anything like that until I lost my period and it didn't come back and I wasn't pregnant and I didn't know what was going on. And that was when I was like, when I found out about HA and everything, that was when I realized, okay, there's a problem. We need to fix it. You want to get pregnant and start a family and you've gone and done this. So yeah.
Mm. So you said that you started quite young, or you had like disordered eating habits, or you might have even mentioned anorexia then, and
Yeah.
ballet. Do you know like where did that all start then? Do you think ballet actually started that all off?
I guess, yeah. I think ballet celebrates the body, so it's all about body image and looking a certain way and being graceful, and you're constantly looking in the mirror and tight leotards and being compared to
Mm.
other people. I just remember so many comments that were made back then, which I think back to and I'm like, that was so toxic, or little episodes that used to happen where I would like be comparing myself in the mirror against one of my really, really skinny friends and just talking about our bodies all the time. And yeah, it triggered all of it. And I had in my head for so many years that I had to be so skinny to be a good ballet dancer. That's what I thought. Like, I thought I can be tiny, I can be a good ballet dancer and get good grades. Like, I genuinely, that was what I believed. And
Yeah. Do you think even your parents realised that at all, or were they completely blind to all of that?
I think so. My mum's pretty in tune. She's with me and all of it. And she did catch it quite young, and she did get a lot of help for it. And she tried me out of ballet quite a few times. She didn't really like that whole lifestyle. And yeah, I ended up stopping a couple of years later. But yeah, I think she did know. And
Yeah. What about so with ballet, it is kind of, it can be very controlling, I suppose, or like you've got to have a lot of determination for it. So do you think that they outright told you guys to lose weight, or you need to look this way, or anything like that? Or do you think it's like an unwritten, like unspoken rule that everyone just knew about? Like, yeah, how is it so prevalent in ballet?
I think this is like 15 years ago, so I think it was probably a lot worse back then, but there was just a lot of talk about body image and that type of thing. And, you know, we'd go to summer schools and we'd have these nutrition classes that would tell us that this muesli bar has this many calories and this has this many calories. This one because it has the least amount of calories. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, like one of my ballet teachers I just remember her always being like, yeah, we had to go for a run around the block and do sit-ups, and she'd say, you'll be able to do sit-ups easier if you have an empty stomach. Like, just comments like, I know this is a long time ago and I'm sure it's not as bad, but I know probably there's still elements, but just comments like this toxic diet culture that I didn't really think anything of it. But it's like I said, looking back and thinking about all of these little comments that have just stuck in my head, obviously, for so many years. Yeah, I'm not surprised there was so many sorts of disordered eating that stems from ballet.
Do you think that you could really love ballet now and be really content in your body and have a good relationship with your body and food? Or do you think that it's just so hard with ballet?
I don't know. I think I just laugh about that because I can't imagine myself doing ballet now. But like, I don't know. I think I'd be in a different mindset for sure. But I think there'd still be a lot of pressure. I don't know what it is like these days, but I know, like, I do read a lot of stuff about, you know, the diet culture and the pressure and the statistics of eating disorders in ballet and gymnastics and that type of thing. And I think it really takes the right kind of person and the right kind of environment that you're in. It would depend completely on whether or not, you know, it is that old school or nowadays it's a lot more, body acceptance is a lot more talked about and there's less of that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe the social media aspect kind of helps with the body positivity movement. So then you started doing ballet and that triggered some kind of disordered eating habits. So then did you say that then merged into anorexia, that then merged obviously hand in hand with HA, losing your period?
No, that was when I did ballet that 15 years ago, that's when I was anorexic, like I diagnosed with anorexia. And then got help for that and that type of thing, and I weight restored back to a normal healthy weight. And I would say just for the last 15 years or so, like I haven't had an eating disorder as such, just more so orthorexic tendencies and just being absolutely in health and having abs and running this amount of kilometers every morning and just controlling what I've like my body size ever since. One way, not until I lost my period that I realized like these sort of habits aren't actually normal or sustainable. And that's basically been the journey for the last sort of 15 years, and it was the wake up call now.
So the wake up call was losing your period. So did you not realize when you was in the midst of that disordered eating habits, did you not realize any of that? Or did any of your friends say, oh, why do you do that? Or why don't you eat this? it was only losing your period, you feel like that really triggered that?
Yeah, because like it's celebrated, like it's like, oh, you're so healthy or you're so fit or this, and it was my identity, and I was like, that was
Mhm.
praise to me, that was a good thing. And you know, and because I wasn't super skinny or super underweight or any, you know, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's normalized. And you know what it's like, it's, yeah, so it wasn't until like there was an actual symptom for me to say, okay, I have actually stressed my body out this much that I've actually made myself infertile. What is
Mm.
going on? When I found out about HA, I'm like, perfect match, you know, like everything to do with health and fitness. That was my life and my identity. And the thought of gaining weight or giving up my fitness was just a hell no, like, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
until
I can relate because because you said you was weight restored, and I lost my period at what was classed as normal weight, normal BMI. So it was really difficult for me to even consider HA in a way. But you said that it really rang true. Did you feel like you was exercising quite a lot and you was under eating quite a bit? So when you saw HA on paper, you was like, "That's 100% me, no doubts about it."
I think so, yeah. And like I said, when I was going through like periods of stress, like back in 2019, I did end up taking it a little bit further than any other time. And I think that's what's tipped me over and actually made my, you know, then I lost my period then. So
Yeah.
it was quite bad. And it was just a coping mechanism because I was so stressed out. And I was so stressed out mentally, emotionally, physically, everything, and putting my body through hell.
Mm.
Lose a lot of weight then as well in 2019. And yeah, when I saw HA on paper and when I heard about it and when one doctor told me about it,
Oh wow, that's good.
yeah, well, it was after two were like, just go back on the pill or this or that. And you know, when you come into that world of HA, you're like, oh my gosh, this is me. um yeah, that's how.
So what did your HA journey look like for you? Because every person can be slightly different. So what did that encompass for you?
Um, I think for me, I started off, you know, tiptoeing around and doing a lot of the holistic side of things from the
Mm.
get.
We both was in the same course, wasn't we? Doing
Yeah,
holistic
yeah.
health at the same
Like
time as well. Yeah.
like I would try all of that sort of stuff on my. That was actually very helpful. I like 100% helped me through my journey. Like yeah, if I didn't do anything with that certificate, I would just, that would have helped me the most in this journey, I would say, for myself. But I mean, like, I was trying all the herbs, the supplements, that kind of thing, you know, just tiny, like eating a little bit more or taking away one workout or just baby stepping around and
Hmm.
beating of what I needed to do for quite a long time. Like I call it, like I was in quasi recovery for ages
Yeah.
until I finally sort of got there. But I don't know, that was the way that I needed to do it. It took a lot longer, of course, but I think
Mhm.
everybody's different. I know like a few of my friends that I've met through this world are like, boom, all in straight away. And to me, the all in approach, just, I don't particularly like it. Um, and yeah, I needed to sort of do it my own way so that it was fixed once and for all as well. Because after
Mhm.
that, changing things overnight and just being like, I'm just going to quit the gym and gain some weight and eat so much food. And I was like, well, no.
Mhm. I was the
But
same. I didn't go fully in. It took
yeah,
me time to fully commit when it wasn't working for me. Like I was slowly eating a bit more and lowering my workouts, just like you said, but then wasn't really seeing any results. So that it took me a while to get my head around it. But yeah, some people just dive straight in, don't they?
they
It's
do.
what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's great. Like, I think there's two ways you can go about it. Absolutely. Like, but it's what your body's going to be comfortable with. And I think probably like you, when you do like go into it slowly and start making slow habits, you probably realize after a wee while, like, okay, I need to do a little bit more. My body still wasn't feeling safe
Yeah.
enough to get my period back. So I need to do this and I need to try this. And it's all this huge journey, isn't it? Like,
Mm. Yeah, I always say that I don't regret it at all. Like I love the journey. Like looking back, like there was those times when I was crying and I ain't got a coach, and I remember coming off the calls crying because they were obviously trying to push me outside my comfort zone. But
yeah,
when you look back, it's just so much you can gain from and so much growth from that. It's actually like a blessing. Um,
yeah.
How long did it actually take you to get your period back in total then?
Just over a year, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that was, yeah, didn't get my period when I fell pregnant, so it was about a
Yeah.
year.
Yes, that's it. So talk to us a little bit about that. So you was having like tests, weren't you, and things like that? Like
Yeah,
your
so I
blood
was, yeah, I went to a fertility specialist actually, and that, like, I didn't like, I saw this fertility specialist at the start of the year 2020, and then I went to book in with another one, and I was put on a 3-month waiting list.
yeah.
And I knew, like, deep down, I knew what I needed to do. I just was starting to get impatient, being over 30, wanting to have a baby. Like now, like way back when I lost my period, I was like, I need to sort something out. I'm going to do that as a backup. But the day I went to see the fertility specialist, um, I had been trying everything for the whole year. This was October the 7th, because it's coming up, like the date that I had.
Oh,
I'm super excited. That was like,
so
yeah,
cool.
almost a year ago. And I went to see the fertility specialist, and I had been ovulation tracking and temperature tracking and getting my hormones checked and all the rest of it. And so I went to the appointment, and she looked at everything, and she saw like the LH hormone, and I won't go into all of that because it's completely individual to me. And, you know, um, everybody's journeys and different, like hormones are going to do different things as well.
Mm.
But long story short is basically she looked and she said at everything that I showed her and said, I don't want to start anything with you because it actually looks like you're going to get your period back like this week, I would say. And I'm like, what? Like, I've just paid you $350. I've been on a 3-month wait list to see you, and you're telling me this. And she just said, oh, or super blasé, mate, and or you might be pregnant. And I'm in the office in tears because I'm just so overwhelmed and so over trying
Yeah.
almost a year to get pregnant. And I've just gone into office in tears. And anyway, so she sent me on my way, and she said that
Such
to
a
me.
shock.
I was like, this is ridiculous. So I was driving home, and I swung past the supermarket, grabbed a packet of pregnancy tests, and went home and took them. And yeah, they were all positive, all 7 in a row that I took all through the night. And it was
Good. Wow.
amazing. Hey, no period. We just caught that ovulation,
Yeah.
which that can happen. That's what I've posted about this before. Be careful if you're
Mhm.
not looking pregnant, because you're obviously going to ovulate before you get your cycle back. And we caught that ovulation, which is just like the timing to me. It's a real blessing. Yeah, because my partner's away a lot as well in the army. Like half the time he's not here, and just the
Yeah.
whole everything how it happened was just so. It was just so meant to be. Like,
Yeah.
I,
So aligned.
yeah,
Oh, I
so,
love that. It's such a good story.
yeah, it's
Um,
cool.
so looking back on your whole journey, would you have done anything differently or changed anything at all? Or do you think it all fell into place the way it was meant to?
It's hard, hey, because I want to say yes, I'd do it quicker, but I just,
Mm.
if I would have learnt or needed to learn like everything that I did along the way, like you said, the journey was good. And I think so much of what I learnt through all of the down times and all of the lessons that I learnt about myself and my body and everything I needed to before I brought a baby into the world. Ironically, it's a
Yeah.
little girl I wanted like so badly not to, carry on this kind of thing with her. So I think probably I needed to take that long to heal,
Mm.
and the timing was perfect in the end.
Yeah.
Asked me back then, and I just no, you know what it's like when you're waiting. It's
Yeah.
so,
It feels like forever.
yeah, it really does feel like forever, and you see everybody else around you getting theirs back really quickly, or really easily or whatever, and it's so difficult when you're in the midst of it.
Mm.
Really.
What do you think that you've learned from the HA journey that you brought over to, well, pregnancy, that helped you with pregnancy? I'm assuming like seeing your body change through the HA journey and then obviously through pregnancy. Do you feel like it's taught you anything else? It was really beneficial?
Just to, yeah, let go a lot of that control, because when you're pregnant, there's so many things that your body's doing, all of these weird and wonderful things, and there's so many random symptoms that you get and things that come up, and you feel so sick and so tired, and working out and eating vegetables and stuff, it's not a, so it really helped me accept that whole process, that I
Mm.
think it was very, very hard if I hadn't gone into that after learning what I did, because I would have been freaking out that I was super sick or super lethargic or super tired or only wanted carbs, or, you know. So I think it really did teach me how to let go and off a lot of that control.
Yeah. How about seeing your body change? Was that really difficult, or do you think that you coped with it quite well through pregnancy?
No, I don't know. I think there was a lot of up and downs. Like, I'm quite honest about that too. Like, I think there were times where you just get, so many people just think it's okay to comment on your body during pregnancy.
And to touch your belly without telling you,
Yeah.
like I knew.
Which I didn't mind, like, if I knew the person and stuff, but it was very, like, it's a very intimate thing, like, just, I don't know, someone coming up and just touching your belly or telling you how you're holding your, carrying your child, or like, oh, you just look like you've had a big meal. That would be like, one of the comments would be on that degree, and then another one would be like from my partner's grandmother, like, you're definitely carrying a girl because you're putting on weight elsewhere. And I'm just like, this is just okay, like, why is it so okay that we can comment on the body's changing, growing this child? I don't know, but apparently in society it's fine. And I don't know, I think a lot of the time I was okay with it, and I think I just thought it was really beautiful and I was proud of my body. But other times, you know, when I couldn't fit anything and I'd look in the mirror and I'd just feel completely just not myself, like it wouldn't feel like my body. That was, there's a lot of ups and downs that I think you have to navigate during pregnancy. And I think it's totally okay to be uncomfortable in your body as well. As beautiful as it can be, it can also be very uncomfortable, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of the HA journey. Like, I've never been pregnant, but there's definitely loads of things I didn't fit in and still don't fit in now. And yeah, you look in the mirror and you're like, who is this person? Sometimes you feel like you've lost your identity. So there's definitely a correlation there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with your, you obviously had a girl as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like you're going to bring her up so that she doesn't fall down this like whole of the diet culture that we've been swept into? Or is there any way that you think that you can help? Or I'm assuming you might not want her to get into ballet, maybe, or how do you feel about that?
I don't know. Hey, my little niece does dancing, and I'm like, no ballet in this household. But I think, look, she's got to make her own decisions and that sort of type of thing. I just have to make sure that I educate and inform her. And
Oh, I've lost the sound of you. I can't hear you.
I need
Oh,
to
there you
really
go.
watch.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for like a few seconds, but I can hear you now.
Sorry, my dad's in New Zealand. He was trying to FaceTime me, and it was coming. He might do it again. He gets quite persistent like that if I don't answer.
Oh no. Okay.
That's fine. I think the main thing is that I need to watch my language around you, because I think there's so much that can impact children when, you know, you're not going to go up to your child and be like, you look fat in this, or, you know, maybe you shouldn't eat this much, or, you know, make comments like that, just to be completely blunt. But that's not what the issue is. I think it's more about how I talk about myself. Like, I've got to be careful to say, oh, I feel horrible in this, or I better not eat this, because they're going to pick up and absorb a lot of that information. And I think it's just the best thing I can do is be a positive role model in the way that I don't critique myself and in front of her and talk about diet culture, sort of, you know, use that kind of language around her, so she doesn't pick up on that.
That's so true.
Also make sure that it's not like, you know, that I can't go and tell her to love her body, and I can't protect her from an eating disorder altogether. And I don't think that's what it's about. I think I just need to make sure I'm filling up her cup, as in, like, her life, she's living an abundant life and she's got other things to focus on, and it's not all about body image. You know, that's the only sort of things I can do to protect her as such from going to that. But I also think I know the signs to watch as well, so I'll be watching her like a hawk if anything comes up.
Yeah, exactly. I think they say from like 0 to 7, I think it is, you like absorb everything, don't you, in your subconscious. So like you said, what words you're using around her is going to be really key for that. And even like the fact that you obviously know loads about the like menstrual cycle and periods as a whole, ovulation, etc. I feel like that's really useful, because most of the time in schools we're not really told amazing amounts of information, or we're not here really. So I feel like you could educate her in so many ways about looking after her body for a cycle, how to eat well for a cycle, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be just amazing too.
I know, poor kid. Like, I'm so excited to do that. I'm so, oh, she's not so kid, lucky kid, but so my partner said, he's like, well, at least I don't have to do the period chat and the sex talk and all that sort of stuff, because you'll be right in there, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll be quite fun too. I reckon that the like school, I don't know, I feel like it's getting better, but I know back in, like, when we were at school, there was just zero education. Like, I grew up thinking you could get pregnant like that if you had any tape off the. I didn't know anything about like my period. I didn't really even know a hell of a lot about it until like I've been this age and, you know, and going through HA, but and like learning anything like in hormones and stuff, like you just know nothing.
Exactly, which is why I say it's really a blessing that we did go through this as well, because then you gained all that information. Now you can pass that on to your daughter too. So it is such a blessing.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else you feel like you want to bring up, or even maybe even advice for anyone that is going through this, or maybe they are really into ballet, or just having these disordered eating patterns, lost their period? Do you have any advice we can end on?
Well, yeah, it's hard. I actually got asked a few questions about advice, and also
Okay.
about how often thinking about giving up and how did you overcome it this time. So I'll sort of like I'll bundle that in together, because I think well, for one, the ballet thing, if you are doing ballet, and or if you are going through disordered eating or HA or that kind of thing, I think it's really important to know that if you've gotten help and maybe you've restored your weight, or you're not like the typical HA or whatever it is, I think you need to really prioritize getting help and getting more help, and not stopping getting that help until you feel like you are completely better. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, it takes you your whole life. If you continue to get support via a psychologist or a coach or a team of people, you know, I think it's really important to know that you deserve that help and support, and the right help and support out there. And don't just think that because you've gained this amount of weight or you don't fit this criteria, you don't deserve that kind of help, because it's so important. If you aren't getting, you know, there by yourself, which is a hard thing to do, that you do go out and get that support and ongoing support. But I think my biggest piece of advice would be, honestly, to trust that your body knows what it's doing. Like, really, I know it's hard. I know it's really hard to leave it up to fate to be the timing of it all is really hard to deal with when you're in the middle of it. But I think it's important to trust your body and not fight it during this time, and know that it's trying its best. As long as you're trying to make it feel safe and giving it what it needs, it's going to heal. It's just that it needs some time to undo what's happened, you know, because a lot of the so I'd think my body was broken, and I'd think it was never going to happen, and I'd curse that it was
why me.
Why not this looks this certain way, or why not this person that doesn't even want to get pregnant, and that doesn't do it. It's not positive. It's your journey, and your body is trying as hard as it can. It's just what you're going to do to get there, and it's up to you. And
and going off the first piece that you said as well, when you get your period back, sometimes you think that you can, you know, you're all fine, you might slip back into old habits, but I had to consciously work on my mental aspect still, because there was still disordered eating habits that I had even after getting my period, like my bleed. It doesn't sometimes stop there, so it is good to still continue challenging yourself, maybe getting support like you said, because it doesn't really stop there, otherwise you could just fall all the way back, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's why they say, you know, make sure you go 3 cycles and not change anything until you know, you're all good. Totally. I totally agree with that. I think it's the same for me personally postpartum. Like, I need to now go and make sure my hormones are balanced again, so I can get my period back and keep it this time. So it's like, it's just,
how are you navigating that? How are you navigating that? So are you breastfeeding? Is this something I can ask you right now?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm breastfeeding, so I don't
Okay.
know. I won't get my, well, you're
Yeah.
not carried while you're breastfeeding, but you can. So I have to just keep that in mind.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it is so hard to balance your hormones postpartum when you're not sleeping, and my
Mm.
cortisol, I just know, are through the roof. Like, I keep catching myself out doing, I'll be super busy with baby and I'll just go in the morning and have a coffee, and then I'm like, eat, like, just constantly reminding myself that, yeah, it's the same sort of thing, like just being
Mm.
accountable and making sure that you're doing all the right things to support your body. That's basically, I'm just doing the best I can, and making sure that I'm checking in regularly, not to fall down those habits, and more so out of by accident now because I'm so busy
Mm.
with them.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, even eating, sometimes, obviously, your priority right now is your baby. So
Mm,
even your eating habits could slide and skipping meals. So it's just being really aware and conscious of that, like you said.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can only do what you can. Like, keeping
Mm.
snacks, if you're a mum or if you're planning to, if you've got a new baby, you just need it. You need a snack station. That's like my new advice to new mums. I'm like, put snacks next to your breastfeeding table, because you get up in the morning and the baby starts crying and you can't go and make yourself breakfast. You have to grab her
Yeah,
and feed. Oh,
that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
that would
Cool.
be that.
Was there any other questions that you had or you wanted to talk about?
I don't know, because there were a lot about how do you know you were pregnant, how quickly. I think we've covered like the ones I've got, unless you have any other ones.
I think I
Um,
had one, but I can't remember. I think it was to do with do I really need to eat that amount, or how much do I need to eat, that kind of thing.
uh,
Well, obviously everyone is different, and then the study. Oh, is that a cat?
yeah, and my story of my life. I've just got to. Someone will laugh that's just joined, because this is every time I'm on Zoom with like a client or something like that. I'm just going to open the door for her because she starts screaming. I can't shut her in, can't out, and she'll just jump across the table every time.
Oh.
Um, yeah, that I do get that question a lot actually. Like, do you really
Mm.
need to? Did you track your calories? That kind of question. Did you do
Yeah.
that? I
Did I
didn't.
track my calories? So no,
Yeah.
I used to, which got me down this rabbit hole. I always thought I wasn't that severe. I was working out like 3 times a week, but eating still quite a lot. And even in comparison to well, that was my dog, if you hear that. Even in comparison to my girlfriends, I would be eating more than them. So I always thought that would be fine. I didn't understand it, but then I was tracking my calories, trying to like avidly lose a bit of weight. But then during my HA recovery journey, I didn't track whatsoever. I was just eating loads more. But then when I felt like I was getting to a really stuck stage, and I felt like I was doing everything right, but couldn't get my period back, I then got a coach. So I started to track before I got a coach, just thinking like, out of interest, what am I eating? And it was coming up like 2,300. I know some people get triggered with figures, but around that amount. So again, not like drastically low here, and I wasn't getting my period, and I had to eat like well over 3,000, well over
Yeah.
that.
It's,
Obviously, everyone is totally different, and the repair work their body needs to do, and their genetics, and how they hold their weight, and
yeah.
yeah. And even like walking, like some people, like, I don't do any exercise, but then you look into it and they're walking loads, which is still considered exercise, or their job is really active, like where they're walking a lot in their job. So all these things have to be considered too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why it's hard to talk like calories in general, because yeah,
Mm.
they're so unique. Yeah.
And even when
I
you're just sitting there, aren't you? Like you're sitting there chilling out watching TV, you're burning calories. You just have to
Yeah.
remember that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Eat calories. Yeah, I don't. I fidget all the time too. I just notice how much I use my hands when I'm like on these. I never do lives. Um, yeah, like I think you really need to make sure that it's unique to the I think it's a good ballpark as such, but
Mm.
like it's, yeah, I don't know. I found it triggering as well, just to like be keeping a food diary.
You found it
Um,
what, sorry?
quite triggering. Like, it just brought me back to the day where I was trying to do these stupid diets and using my fitness pal and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
got rid of that, and just made sure every meal was balanced, like carbs,
With
fat, protein.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and snack, not missing
Yeah.
them. Or not hungry and it's morning tea time, you like need to have a snack anyway, that kind
Mm.
of thing.
Following your mental hunger too. Like if you are just like, oh, I would want an extra one of them, but that'd be really cheeky. Just go for it. Like you're having this time is your permission slip even to just eat what you want as well, and just break down all those little habits and traits that you might have.
Yeah, and the more you do that as well, like the less your life revolves around food or you're thinking about it.
Mm.
And I think a lot of the time people think that, oh my gosh, am I gonna go the other way? Am I gonna never stop being able to,
So
like,
common like that.
it's like, well,
Yeah.
no, you've deprived yourself for so long. You just need to allow yourself to nourish your body, whatever that may mean, just for the now. It's not going to be like that forever. You're not going to want to eat cake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like it's the
Mm.
whole eating movement, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I had a Magnum lolly for like 3 weeks every single day, but I haven't had a Magnum lolly like for ages now.
Yeah,
But yeah, you do change how you eat, but yeah, it's all a learning curve, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Cool. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much. It's been so great to meet you on this live. As like I said, we've been chatting just via messages for so long. It's great to
yeah.
actually probably see you.
I know, you too. Thank you so much.
No worries. It's great to hear your story, and yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll chat again another time.
Yeah, sounds good. Are you going to keep doing these with like other people?
Yeah, I might do. It's always nice, isn't it, to meet people and to chat and just to hear their stories. It is always fun. So yeah, and it can be quite helpful. I know you do like little blogs as well, so it's good to read other people's stories and just know you're not alone. Because I felt really alone in my journey, and then until I started going on the hashtags and finding some people, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, it's not just me. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely
Nice.
it's good to know, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Cool.
I just
Well, thank you so much.
we've gotten a comment down. Oh yeah, no, that's just Abby saying about the cat. That's so nice of it.
Oh.
Okay,
Cool. Well, have a
yes.
lovely evening.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
See you later.